Hi everyone, it's John from What Up. Welcome back to another video, and I have two very special guests with me this evening. They're from Tori Talks TV, a YouTube channel dedicated to talking about all things TV, not just the Wheel of Time, but they are doing the Wheel of Time for this season. They were most recently on the Dusty Wheel, and they had a great time there, so I figured why not have them on here if they would have me as well. So I asked them, and here they are. So, hi folks, how are you tonight?
Good. How
We're
are
so
you?
excited.
So I've left a link to their channel down below in the description box. If you folks like talking about TV shows, and you guys are doing a ton of them right now, it's not just Wheel of Time, there's a lot of different ones. Head over to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like their videos, spread them around, tell all your friends, help them grow, because they're absolutely fantastic people, and they're very positive about everything. So it just pass it around, folks. So before we dive into the Wheel of Time, what other projects are you guys working on right now? Like, what other shows are you talking about in your channel?
Well, we just finished up The White Lotus
Okay.
season 3, and Severance. So that's the most recent. But I will tell you, we are taking a break from anything else because we just want to focus on Wheel of Time right now while it's on. So right now, just Wheel of Time.
Yeah, and leading up into WatCon, we want to keep that momentum because with the TV show just happening and then WatCon just a few months away, we just kind of want to focus our efforts.
Very good. You folks will be at WalkOn then? Oh,
Yes.
very cool. That's exciting. You're based
Will
in the
you?
US. No, I won't be. I was supposed to go to JordanCon, and I just recently announced that I won't be attending due to some things that happened in my personal life. But that's another video, folks. Folks on my channel already know about that. But no, I won't be attending, and so I won't be traveling to the States either for WatCon for that. Unfortunately, I'd love to go some year, but this year's just not my year, I guess. So. So you're talking exclusively about the Wheel of Time right now, but you haven't read the books. You just enjoy the show to pieces, pretty much.
Yes.
So season 3, like, what are your thoughts? You've seen the first 2 seasons as well, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will tell you that this is a stretch for us because we're not very big sci-fi fantasy fans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we were doing our usual reviewing TV shows, and my oldest brother, I have two older brothers, both
Okay.
read the books. My oldest brother is married to her,
Mhm.
Dr. S, and he was suggesting a show for us to review, and he said there's this new series coming out based on these books that I just love and you should review it. And we said, oh, what's the genre? Oh, fantasy? No, we're good.
No.
No, I'm okay. We'll just pass on
We
that one.
flat out tried to say no because he has suggested fantasy like we did
Mm-hmm.
The Witcher. We did all of Game of Thrones from the first season to catch us up to the final
Mm-hmm.
season. In cosplay, we did, I mean, we've done a lot, and we were finally like, you know what? Like, we've
That,
had it.
that's
We're
it.
not gonna do it. And
Yeah.
then it was like the night of the premiere. And I remember we were like outside, the two of us conferring, and we're gonna be like, set the boundary. We're not doing it. And somehow we wound up doing it. And we wound up really like
Like falling in love.
in love with the community who
Oh,
embraced our videos, and we were confused by what was happening. We would ask questions and we would just like get comments really nicely explaining things without spoiling anything,
mm-hmm.
and like so artfully too. I'm so impressed by how you all can have all this knowledge and share, but not spoil anything for us. And it's just, I get chills just now thinking about it because every time we release a video, I just get so happy when the notifications pop up on my phone and it's
Yeah.
a comment and like, yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, so we have obviously been enjoying it. We obviously love watching the seasons, but then there's the whole fandom, the community, the people that have rallied behind us and supported us. So, but back to your question. Yes, we love season 3. Every season gets better and better, in my
Yes, yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I think also something happened this season in particular because I can speak for both of us. We went from loving Wheel of Time more for the community aspect, but then with episode 4, we were
Oh my
like, oh,
goodness.
okay, we're in. Now I can say like, I don't know, it's like not that nothing can top the community, but I would say like even if something weird happened and there was no community, I would still watch the show
Yeah.
So
because that's
this
amazing.
season 3 is the first season where they haven't had any major problems behind the scenes. So season 1, they had a ton of problems. They had COVID, multiple shutdowns. They had one of the main cast members leave the show and kind of leave them having to rewrite the last 2 episodes. Season 2, they have the writers strike, the SAG after strikes. So there's no promotion. There's a bunch of things in that, and they had to rewrite big parts of it to fit the narrative for the end of season 1. Season 3 is the first time when behind the scenes there was really almost no, I wouldn't say no problems, because every TV show has problems, of course, but almost no problems. And it really shows. It really, like, the step up is just wild. It's so good. But you mentioned episode 4, so I recently had a chance to sit down with Thomas Napper, the director of episode 4. He is such a nice dude. He is really, really nice. And he is as blown away from the fandom as you folks are, really. And like, that episode, to me, when I rated it on my channel, it was at like a 10 plus plus plus. Like, I couldn't give it higher than a 10. Like, it was so good. But I think even like real critics agreed it was so good. So yeah, no, it was super good. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying the season. Like, it's certainly one of the most welcoming communities that I have found in my life. I mean, of course, every community has its not so great elements, but by and large, most of the community is fantastic. So I'm glad they've kind of embraced you folks and are helping you out. And spoilers is a big thing with us, like 100%. So if people haven't read the books or gone any further, we always put spoiler tags in, which I'm going to be doing right now. Thank you for reminding me. So we're not going to spoil anything from the books in today's video unless I get express permission from Tori and Dr. S, because they haven't read the books. But we will be talking a lot about the TV show, so if you folks haven't watched the first 3 seasons and the first 6 episodes, episode 7 premieres tomorrow as of this filming, but this will probably come out during the week that episode 7 is out. Then be forewarned, going to run plot points, character arcs from at least that far into the season. So there we have it. There's a little spoilers for us. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. Spoilers are a big thing with the community, because some people, even though the books have been out 35 years now, almost 35 years, people are still like, nope, we won't talk about it, ruin it for other people, which is cool. So as non-book readers, you love the show. What is your favorite? Who are your favorite characters? I watched a little bit of the Wheel of Time questions with Mr. Dr. S on your channel earlier today, which was very cool. So I'm not going to quite do what he did and ask you folks questions, but like, what was your favorite character? Like, who's your favorite character in the series?
You want to start? You go
Okay.
first.
Well, I'm wearing red for my favorite character, Leandrin.
Oh, she's so good. I love Kate Fleetwood. She's amazing.
So I think this is my main reason, right? Because I know she's like maybe a bad guy or something, but maybe. She has her reasons, you know. But I think that actress Kate Fleetwood, you got to talk to her. Oh my gosh, dream come true. She has just really brought this character to like a whole other level, and I feel for her. I always want to see more from her. When she comes on the screen, I get so excited. There's just something so compelling about her. So, I'm not sure if I'm obsessed with Kate Fleetwood or Leandrin, but either way, she's my favorite character. I love her.
She's absolutely amazing, and Leandrin is phenomenal in the show. Just absolutely wonderful. Not to spoil anything from the books, and it is not really a spoiler, but like, Robert Jordan did not do writing villains very well. He didn't. The show does a much better job of fleshing out the villains and giving them motivations and making people feel for them. And Leandrin is like super embodiment of that.
Yeah, wow, that's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely feel for her.
So, Dr. S, who's your favorite character?
Character is also a villain. So it's Lanfear.
Oh, Natasha O'Keefe. She's fantastic.
Oh my gosh. So I liked her from the moment we met her. I actually like her less this season, and I think it a little bit has to do with having her have like, when I learned that she was Mirren Sedai, and now we're trying to say like, oh, she was actually trying to do good. I don't need that. I don't need her to be good. I liked her pure bad. I like that she's motivated by just like mad love. That's the the Lanfear that I liked. And just the one that would walk through Kyrene and just blow up stuff.
Oh, her obsession with Luce Theron is legendary. It really is. I super love it.
And I had feel for women who are obsessive in love like that, you know, like if you've ever been in that position where you're just like, you know, years later you might be embarrassed that you were that level obsessed with someone, but in the moment you just are like, no, I'm meant to be with this person. And I kind of like relate to that. And I don't know, I really like her. And she looks amazing, especially in her, like when she's in the dream world, her black like goth look, like her style, amazing.
Sharon Gillan, the costume designer for the show, is just wonderful. The amount of care and time put into the costumes is just fantastic. And Lanfear, no exception, of course. If you ever get to talk to Matt Hatch again, talk about boots. I don't know if you folks get into that with him or not, but he's a big fan of boots.
Oh, interesting. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned episode 4 as being such a good episode. Is that your favorite of the season so far?
Oh, yeah, I think definitely for me, for sure. It was because it was a turning point for us. It was
Mhm.
when the light switched on, it clicked, we get it. We get why you all are obsessed and have read it over 100 times.
Yeah.
I understand the love you have for it. It just got so deep, made me go deep, and then I just said, wow, I really need to know more, and I really care about, well, especially now more Rand, because our problem was Rand was a little underwhelming, but then this really changed things, changed my perspective. What
Rand's
about you?
he's never been my favorite character ever. Like, never.
Really?
Yeah, not at all. Not in the books or the show. I will say that.
So definitely it was a turning point episode, and I think it did change my view of Rand, but the more I reflect on it, I'm holding back on my view of Rand, like kind of taking it back a notch because we didn't really learn that much about him. We learned about his ancestors.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, well, you have a long history of, these people who made certain decisions, but you still haven't made your life decisions, the most important ones you're probably going to make yet. So I'm going to hold back still for now. And definitely it was my favorite episode up to the time in which I saw it. But then I really liked the last episode, episode 6.
It was so good.
Oh my, like, so, I mean, your notes for that episode was longer than any
Oh my
notes
gosh.
you've ever, so much happened. It
Yeah.
was everywhere. It was beautiful. It was funny. It was emotional. Like it had Forsaken, which I'm obsessed with the Forsaken. Just, I can't wait. I wish we could meet all of them. I hear there's many more that we're not going to probably get to meet. But yeah, I think this episode 6 kind of started to rival in a different way. It wasn't like a turning point, but it just kind of like expanded out like, oh, Tanchico, obsessed
So
with
good.
Tanchico.
Love Chico. Yes.
So yeah.
So it's funny they mentioned Forsaken. Samael on screen, my favorite Forsaken so far. Moghedian, played by Layla Costa, wonderful. Like, just she's creepy as shit. She really is. She's amazing.
Yes.
She's so good. But I love that Samael is, to me, he's very very book accurate because Samael is sort of a short king in the books, and that's a very very big sticking point for him. He super doesn't like the fact that he has to look up to everybody, and seeing him on screen the same way, so good. And the fact they made him Scottish, oh, I'm a sucker for Scottish villain. I really am.
I love Scotland. I've been there twice. I love it. I love the accents, everything they wear, what they look like. So that it was a bonus for sure.
So, what did you think about the scene with Rand and the little girl, the Ruark's great daughter?
Oh no. That was heartbreaking.
Oh, wasn't it though?
Yeah, it was nice to see him interact with a little girl and just see that side of him, the softer side of him. Not that he's hard or anything, but just to see. I don't feel like I've ever seen that kind of maybe even paternal side of him.
Mhm.
And then what ends up happening and just seeing how much it affects him and then how he goes a little was scary for me to see him show that, the laughing and the crying. And then I said the black weeds, but everybody reminds me that's the taint. And then like
Mhm.
that scares me that he's, the madness is in him. And so it was so sad, but then I also got really scared by it. I don't know, how'd you feel about it?
Well, yeah, because the performance was just amazing because there was crying and like almost like a mad laughter look to
Yosha
it.
was fantastic.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know
Stellar.
how he continues to like elevate like from the performance in episode 4 and this was even like
Yeah.
more. So yeah, it was and I'm a little bit mad at myself for not expecting her to have a tragic end because it was too adorable. And when you see something so beautiful, like we always say this, it's gonna come to an
Yeah.
end because
when they
It's not
introduce
a-
something like that and they have these little tender moments, you're like, oh, then you're like, oh no.
Yeah,
Why
Exactly.
did they do this?
exactly.
So-
Yeah.
I love hearing non-book readers' thoughts on the show. I super do. There's a large contingent of fans out there that love the books that also love the show, but a much larger contingent of fans that love the show that had never even heard of the books in the first place. And it's brought more people into reading the books, and it's brought more people who have never read them into the Wheel of Time fandom, so to speak. So I love hearing perspective on all of this stuff. And for people who've read the books, the show has changed enough that we will see things and we'll go, oh, that's an Easter egg, or that's a call out to this, or we think we know what's going to happen. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. But for you folks, like seeing it fresh for the first time, that's got to be wild, not knowing what you're going into at all, and then having some of these things happen. And like I said, spoilers are big things, so we won't spoil anything for you. But is there anything that's happened so far, either this season or in previous seasons, that you had some questions about that I could perhaps maybe shed some light on? Either in storyline, plot line, metadata, behind the scenes stuff. I do all of that on my channel, so I have a large bunch of knowledge that way. So it would be good to know questions that non-book readers would perhaps have.
I have one.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Good.
so one of the first things that drew me when we first started watching was the whole Aes Sedai culture.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, there's a whole group of strong women. This is pretty awesome to see on TV. And then the more we got into it, we learned that they have the oaths and they can't lie. And so one of the things that I've been trying to understand is like what happens. Like, I guess they actually cannot lie. It's not like they're making the choice to not lie. They just physically cannot lie.
Yeah.
So
correct,
is
yeah.
it a spoiler to like the only kind of similar like compulsion I can or like when Suwan like Moraine, I forgot how to describe it, but like she couldn't not go through the gate because she had taken those. So that's the only kind of example that I have, but I don't know what happened with Aes Sedai if they like try to speak a word that's not true.
They just can't. So there's
Oh.
there's instances where it's tested, I guess you'd say, where so someone is a demone, where they're wearing the collar, and their Suldam, whatever the Suldam says, they have to do. Like it's sort of a form of compulsion. If they say you have to say that this pen is red, they're gonna be like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, and they're like, the pen is blue. Like they can't tell a lie. But if they're being forced to, nothing happens, and it's sort of an internal struggle, and they don't die from it, but they just can't. It's impossible for them. It's very painful, but they just, once they swear an oath, they can't break the oath. But if they can convince themselves in their mind that pen is red, they can say it. If they believe it to be true, it doesn't have to actually be a truth. If they can do some fancy mental gymnastics to say, okay, yeah, no, that looks red to me, I guess, then that'll work that way. But yeah, so it's just a straight whatever the oath is, and it doesn't have to be those oaths. Any oath can be sworn on the oath rod. Really, those are just the ones that I settled on. So it can be anything, really.
Interesting. I don't know if I have a question really, just when I watch fantasy or I mean even sci-fi, I don't know why. Some part of me is like, where are we? What time period is this? It's always like Renaissance or I don't know, watching Game of Thrones. I'm like, okay, cool, but where are we in history? Like I want to know a timeline, like a 1600s or blah blah blah. And I'm not saying that applies here, but they do reference thousands of years ago and then thousands of years ahead, and I guess what I'm confused about is, are we in the future now or are we in the past? Or does it not matter because it's a wheel?
It's both. It's the wheel.
Okay.
So there's a lot of points in the books, and it's mentioned in the show a couple times too, where Robert Jordan referenced things from our world. Just silly little things. So like, for example, there's one point where he referenced something that is a Mercedes-Benz symbol. That's 100% what it is. But it means nothing to the people in the Wheel of Time world because it's nothing to them. So we're either in their very, very distant past or their very, very distant future, but it doesn't really matter because time's a wheel. And I guess you could think of us today as being in an age where, yes, we're technologically more advanced than they are, but we haven't discovered the power yet. Because there's always that cycle where things build up, and then things go wrong, and then it restarts anew, and then you'll have an age where everything has to build up. Then you have an age where they discover the power, and so you'll have ages without power as well. So it's a horrible philosophical conundrum, but the answer is yes to both. It's future and past. which is,
Wow, I
yeah.
love that. No, that's fascinating. Thank you for explaining that. That's really neat. I mean, it
Yeah.
makes me more confused, but I love it. I love being confused. No, I appreciate it. I can't think of any more. So, what's great is when we have questions, the fans are
Oh,
so happy to just jump in there and help us as much as they can without spoiling.
Mhm.
So, I feel like whenever I have a question, they know they can sense, or we ask them, we straight up say, okay, if you can answer this. So, a lot of our questions have been answered, but by the fandom because they're amazing. But
which
now I
is,
really want to ask you more because you're very knowledgeable.
just
Uh,
email them to me. I love talking about
okay.
this stuff.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome. Thank
um,
you.
oh, you're welcome. So you folks, again, just coming in new to the Wheel Time fandom, and you're so impressed with it, and that makes me really happy because by and large, fandom is so fantastic, and they've been so welcoming to new people coming in. There's been this sort of over the last 30 years, there's been different types and bits of the fandom. So there's Jordan Con, which I don't know if you're aware of, but it's like a book convention for Wheel of Time. It's been on for years and years and years. It happens in Atlanta. It's happening soon. There's WatCon, which started a few years ago, but there's been online communities too. So Matt Hatch, when you were on the Dusty Wheel, he was one of the original creators of Theoryland. So when the books started coming out, the internet was in its infancy. I'm dating myself a bit here, I guess. But people would get together online in news groups and forums, and they would have questions. So as the books came out, they would get together, and so I guess the fandom sort of get used to that, like talking with each other and not spoiling things for each other. So that's kind of where that came from, I guess, and it's just carried on to today, which is super neat. So if you guys are asking questions in your videos and people are being helpful, not spoiling things, probably because they've been part of the fandom for a while and they understand how that part of it works, which is nice. Um, but I do have another question for you. Who's your favorite couple in the show? I have to ask that.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
Like a romantically linked couple or
Romantic
just
couple, a friendship. It doesn't matter. Favorite pairing.
already have mine.
Oh, go.
Matt and Min.
Oh, I love
Oh my
them
god.
so much.
I I mean I totally just first thing I thought of because they're just so fun together and so loyal to one another. I just every time they're on screen, like the comedy between them, I feel like there is going to be some sexual chemistry at some point, I hope. I don't know, but yeah, I just really love seeing them together.
They are. I
Wow,
would
that
watch an entire show spin-off of like a buddy comedy with the two of them. Like I think it would
Yeah.
be fantastic. Like solving crimes or doing something. Like I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, totally.
well, can I answer both romantic and
Yeah,
friendship?
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, my favorite couple is well, Nynaeve and Lan,
Mm.
because obviously. Um, that just okay, I remember when they first, I don't know if it was the very first scene they were together, but the chemistry was instant. And I
Yeah.
said they need to be together. And then just how they can go off and trust each other. I mean, they kind of have to, but just like that they have a connection even from afar, you know? I just feel like they're like a real solid, mature relationship, not kind of, toxic like
Mhm.
Fear and Rand, and even Egwene and Rand, which
Yes.
I love them too, but I admire their relationship.
Mhm.
And then the non-romantic would be, so I'm a huge fan of Hopper. So
Oh,
Perrin and Hopper.
I love
I miss him.
Hopper.
Yeah, I love dogs. I'm yeah. But yeah, when he passed, I think that was the most heartbreaking thing I've seen in real
Seeing him
time.
jump at the sparks at the end of the episode, like I think it was episode, was it five, I believe, when Wayne was jumping through people's dreams.
Oh, it
Mhm.
Oh,
was like made
broke my
the
heart.
whole. Yeah, no, I just to see him again though, and then I did see a behind the scenes. I would think it was just a still of Marcus Rutherford with the dog or wolf that
Mhm.
they used. Oh my gosh, it was so sweet. He had this glee on his face, and the dog was jumping up on him, and I was just like, I can't with these two. But so I'd say those two are my favorite, and he'll always be. I feel like he'll always be with him. So I know they're not technically together, but in my eyes, they are.
So it's one of the things is I wish the show. I wish we were back in the heyday of TV, and I don't like saying heyday of TV because I don't disparage the shows that are out there now because there's a lot of really great shows. But I do miss 24 to 30 episodes per season. I do. I'm that age where I remember watching Lost, and we had that many episodes per season, and yeah, there were filler episodes, and yes, there were silly episodes they put in, but having that extra time allowed for much deeper storytelling, in my opinion, anyway. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's my opinion. And if they did that for the Wheel of Time, you folks would see a whole lot more of Nynaeve and Lan, which is... Their relationship is so good in the book series. It is so deep. It is so connected. There are so many little things that happen and big things that happen later in the books that we haven't seen in the show yet that are just real emotional. Like, just like, oh, you watch a whole K-drama with just them. Like, you know what I mean? That's the type of relationship that they kind of have in the books, the K-drama relationship, where it's like a slow, very slow burn. And I wish you could see more of that, honestly.
I do too. Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'll get what I can get, I guess.
So, in watching this season, I have to ask you folks, what do you think of the pacing, editing, and the explanations for things? Because there's a whole lot of information being thrown at viewers this season, like a lot of new stuff, like a ton of new stuff that hasn't really been explained in the first two seasons. And for someone with a background in the stuff, for me, I see it and I'm like, yeah, I know what that is. I understand it. It makes total sense. But does it to you folks? Because one of the arguments I always have is I want more time for the show. So I'm like, yeah, they need more time to explain things. But I think they're doing a good job of it this season. But is there anything that just kind of stands out as like, I don't really understand that at all, or that you had to ask the fandom?
Well, we always have to ask. We ask
Every
I remember episode 1,
Mhm.
which we reviewed after only getting to watch it that one time, right? It was the fan event. So we didn't get to rewind or rewatch.
Uh-huh.
And the whole Mogideon turning the white cloak into a gray man, and I did not have subtitles on, so I kept hearing, "Do you want to be great? Do you want to be great?" And I was like, "Well, who doesn't?"
Of course I want to be
So,
great.
right, so we did our review, and I didn't know what the heck was going on, but you know, the fans were so great at explaining to us what the whole gray man thing was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we are always integrating questions when we go through what's happening in the show. So I can't think of
Sometimes things happen a little quickly, and I wonder, oh, maybe it was like that in the book, like when Matt was fighting Galad and Gowan, is that his name? That fight was like real fast. Like I wanted it to be a big deal. I knew it was a big deal in my heart, like go Matt, right? But I don't know. It seemed like it could have been a bigger build up. Or who died so quickly? Was it Ishi? No, not Ishi. Somebody. Oh, the guy. Okay, back in season 2 with the Lady Sarath, and it was Turok. Is that his name?
Turok, yeah.
Lord Tyrell.
Oh my
Lord
gosh. And it
Turok,
was, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. And I feel like he just like took him out. It
He
was
Indiana Jones him right away. Just
yeah. Yeah. So sometimes I just wonder, or even with Samael, which I'm not convinced he's dead, but even just this last episode, like that's it. I don't know. There's some things like that where I just wonder. And if it was that fast, great. I mean, I'm okay with it. But yeah, I guess maybe with Lan and Nynaeve, like so we have nothing to compare it to. We have no idea, like, right? So we're like, okay, I guess that's how it goes. We don't really, we kind of comply, what can we do? But with Nynaeve and Lan, yeah, I do wonder, did it happen that quickly? Or like, did the connections, did it build? Like you said it's slow burn or whatever, or there was more time. But so I guess there's just more little stuff like that I wonder. It was really that easy to take out Lord Truck,
So I will say about the Matt Gowan and Galad fight, it didn't quite happen the same way in the books, but the fight itself was identical. Same length, same bet, so 2 marks each. And so I don't know if you can see that there, but I have a Gowan tattoo. Gowan's my favorite character in the book series. And everyone hates him. They super hate him. Like the book fans hate him so much.
The younger brother? Is he the younger brother?
He's the younger brother, yeah. He looks a little bit like He-Man with his hair. Like
Okay.
from
That's the
Adam
one
from
that-
Eternia, yeah.
I
like
like a lot, and
Galad.
I like God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Galad's the older guy with the when they were doing the fight scene initially when they're showing off the novice stuff. I think Galad was wearing white pants and Gowan was wearing red pants. I think it's the best way to put it. Galad's a bit more rugged, a bit bigger, and Gowan's a little bit smaller and whatnot. But yeah, Gowan's absolute favorite character. People hate him so much, and I won't get into why because there's so many spoilers. But I will say he is an incredibly well-written character. He's a young man in the books. Like, we're talking, like, teenage young man, spoiled, brought up in royalty. Main character syndrome, totally. everything must work out for him because he is the way he is, and it doesn't.
Oh.
And
But
I don't want to like ask, I'm sure the answer is spoilery, but they are cast very different looking. So I'm assuming they have different dads.
So
Um,
without spoiling too much, and this is a hard thing, the parentage of a few of the characters from the book series is kind of a convoluted mess, and it's that way on purpose. And it will spoil some things, so I won't get into it too much. But I will say that when they did the casting reveal for Gowan and Galad, they did not a great job, I guess, because they mixed up the characters' names and they mixed up other things, and in the episode, Galad is a Trakand. He's announced as a Trakand, same as Gowan and Elaine. But in the credits, if you look at it, he's a Damadrid. So that is his actual last name from the books.
Moraine.
Yes.
oh.
So if you look at the credits of that episode, he's actually credited as a Damadrid, which it means it's canon for the show, which isn't really a spoiler, I guess, because I mean, who watches credits really? But people like me, maybe.
But it's known, it was like, so when he was introduced you're talking when like Leanna was introducing the
Yep.
people who entered, she introduced him as Trakand, but
Glad of House Trakand, yeah.
okay. And Gawain, she
First Prince
introduced
of the
both of
Sword,
them.
House Trakand, yeah. So that's how they were introduced. But if you look at the credits of that episode, when it aired, he was actually a Damadrid. But all the press releases, everything else has Mr. Trakand, which confused a lot of book fans. But then they sort of corrected it in the credits, I think.
Okay. So then it's known like that he's related to Moraine in some way because they have the same last name.
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
it is eventually explained in the books. Like when he's introduced as the half brother, if that makes any sense. And in the book series, and then it is the whole parentage is explained later on, and it's a big convoluted thing. Like and there's like again
I
huge
can't
spoilers.
talk to you right now. I can't even listen.
This is
I can't hear
amazing.
anything that you're saying. I'm sorry.
Breaking news in our world.
Yeah, I'm here like trying to remember every single thing that Maureen's ever said. The whole story that she was telling Brand about her uncle
Yeah.
and that whole thing. Yeah, I need to go
All
rewatch.
of it's super important. That's all I'll say. It's all very important.
Just everything you said after that, I don't know what you said. So yeah.
So again, I guess it was a spoilery, and I apologize if it's considered a spoiler. But in the credits of the episode, he's credited the right way. So like that made book fans happy, and they're like, okay, that makes sense. So
Very cool. Okay, good to know. Sorry. Yes,
Okay.
you were saying?
no, that's okay.
I'm back.
And again, later on, offline, if you wanted to explain it, we'll spoil some things for the books. But again, that's up to you. I can certainly
I'm good with that.
certainly walk
That's
you
a
through.
That's a good amount of information, and so but like everyone in the world of the TV show would
Mhm.
know that that was his last name because
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
fine.
they would know that. Like all the other royalty, like the Aes Sedai would know that. The Fielders probably wouldn't because I mean, yeah, they're from Andor, but do they know their own royalty because they're living in kind of like the backwater? It's questionable. But yeah, anyone who is part of any sort of political sphere would definitely know, 100%.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
And there's so many tiny little things like that show up in the show that are like little call-outs and tidbits to the books, and like that Leo DiCaprio meme where like yeah he's whistling and pointing at the TV, like that's every book fan every episode for like a dozen things.
Oh, that's so
So there's so many tiny little call-outs they put in there. And I guess when I talked to Tom Snapper, he said that his episode 4, was a love letter to the series, and it truly was. There was so much in there that was not just good in advancing the storyline and directly from the series, but all these little things, like just blink if you miss it moments that like mean big things to diehard book fans that were included, sometimes at great cost, that they didn't really have to, but they put them in anyway. And it's you see stuff like that, so it's. I know you don't like fantasy, but if you have the chance,
I don't even know if
the books.
I don't know if we could say that anymore, huh? That we don't like fantasy.
That we don't like. I mean, actually, I always think back on the fact that we declare that we don't like fantasy or like sci-fi fantasy, but then like one of my favorite TV shows, or I wouldn't say favorite, but what I declare is one of the best shows ever was Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my god, such a good show! I loved that show so much.
I would like to rewatch that more recently to see if it holds up. But I
It
just
does.
remember.
I finished it probably about a month ago. Again, like a rewatch with the kids. I made them watch it. They're not big sci-fi fans at all, but I was like, you will watch this, and they watched it, and it holds up. 100% holds up. Edward James Olmos is just chef's kiss, fantastic. You can't get much better than that. Like, perfect. Yeah, no, holds up for sure. And I mean, you got to be a sci-fi fan if you like that. But I mean, it's a type of sci-fi, I guess you'd say. It's not. There are certain types that maybe you don't like, because there are different genres of it. But that one there, definitely, I'd say it's sci-fi. If you like that, try The Expanse. Have you watched The Expanse?
Oh, I watched the first episode of The Expanse because of the actress who plays Elida,
Shona?
and I'm trying to get into it. And I feel like because you know what, I'm actually wondering. One of my favorite movies is Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters 2 is better. Is that sci-fi? Now that I think of it, wait a minute. Have I been lying to myself?
Yes, I'd say. I guess it's sci-fi. I guess you'd call it sci-fi. 100%.
And like Buffy the Vampire
So-
Slayer.
Oh, that's
So, like-
totally yeah.
So you can kind of argue that horror, sci-fi, fantasy is not really like three distinct genres, but they kind of borrow from one another. So there's
Okay.
elements of horror in Wheel of Time. There's elements of sci-fi.
Totally.
You call it fantasy, but it's really horror, sci-fi, fantasy. I mean, those fades, that's horror.
The Fades. Oh, the
So
worst.
I feel like Buffy's the same.
Okay.
Probably more horror, but
Evil
but
Dead?
yeah, Buffy. Evil
Same
Dead.
thing.
I
It's-
never.
It's horror, sci-fi, and fantasy all kind of crammed into one in both the movies and this series. So there's a television show too, Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you like campy stuff, watch it. You have to review it at some point or another. It's fantastic. It unfortunately got canceled because everyone pirated it more than they bought it.
Oh,
but it was
no.
such a good show. So I had a few seasons. It was really good. Bruce Campbell's my all-time favorite actor. He's just great at doing B-movie stuff.
Who's Bruce Campbell?
He's an actor, but I don't know what else I've seen him in, but I
Okay.
like him.
He's
I'm
been
also I like MCU, so that's fantasy.
yeah,
sci-fi.
it's fantasy / sci-fi too. Yeah, I guess you'd say that too. So there you go. So you can't say you don't like fantasy or sci-fi because you do. You just
I think we
maybe
had a
not
revelation.
certain genres.
Yeah.
You did love Game of Thrones in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember you babysat. You were like, I will babysit your children so you can finish watching Game of Thrones. I clearly remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you wanted us to catch up.
Yes.
So
That's
okay,
right.
I guess we have to take that back.
Can't say that anymore.
So for the folks at home that are watching, Tori Talks TV is their YouTube channel. If you haven't already gone there, pause the video and go there and subscribe to their channel, please. They're fantastic. How did you folks start? Well, I want to talk a little bit about your channel. How did you start? Like, how did that happen?
Okay, well, I don't want to like tell your whole story, but because I'm very proud of her, she taught television and media at Northwestern University. She's a professor there. So she's
See-
like, yeah.
So you're a
Pro.
professional. This is what you do. This is here I
no,
am
no, I don't.
pretending, and
I don't
this is
do
what
it.
you do.
Just to clarify, I don't do it anymore. But I did study. I did get a PhD, and film studies was part of it. And I was a professor for 1 year. But I did, while I was in grad school, work as a teaching assistant in film classes, and I taught a few classes. But yeah, I just love film and TV so much. But once I became a professor, I was like, I don't want to do that. So I quit, but I still love TV. So
Yes, and I've always loved TV. I always felt like my TV screen was another part of the family. It was another member of the
Mhm.
family. So that just kind of like, I feel like I was like, a latchkey kid, whatever. Anyway, so I literally was raised on TV. Yeah. So just a big fan. And I knew she was a big fan, and we would talk about things that we would like, that we were watching. And then I don't remember why, but one day I said, oh my gosh, it'd be really fun to talk about TV with her and maybe put it on YouTube. And then I asked her, and I'll quote you again. You said, yeah, I need another creative outlet or something like that, to that effect. And so that's how it started.
I think it's been like 6 years now.
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
think so. I think
It's
something
amazing.
like that.
So that's how, and like I said, she's my sister-in-law, so I've known her for a long
A
time.
long time.
Because she's my brother and her, they were best friends before they, got married and stuff. So
Aw.
I've known you since you were a teenager.
I was a teenager.
So like 4 years, right?
Say,
Ah.
years ago.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. No, it's been a long time, right?
Yes.
But yeah, so we just yeah, it just seemed like who else would I want to do that with than her,
And I
obviously.
trust her taste in TV shows because I remember for a while I just wasn't watching shows because I had little kids. And then finally, when I was ready to watch a show, she was like, "Oh, you should watch Sons of Anarchy."
Oh,
So
And
good.
I said, okay, I'll give it a try, whatever. And like the very first shot, maybe episode, I was like, I'm in.
yeah, yeah.
So you get me. So now I trust you.
Yeah. We do have similar tastes, yeah, pretty for the most part.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have a lot of overlap
Yes.
for sure.
Yes,
And you
exactly.
do tons of different types of shows, different genres. Like I've took over your channel, and there's so many videos. Like you have so much content on there. So, folks,
Yeah.
if you're in for the weekend, just like throw on their channel and watch all of it. You probably won't get through it all in a weekend, but you know what I mean.
Thank you. Yeah, we do have a lot of videos.
We do. And we're trying to do beyond like just episode reviews for Wheel of Time now. We've started we're doing little reaction videos to certain key scenes. So I think coming up pretty soon is going to be our reaction to season 3, episode 2, the coronation of Morgaze.
The red coronation.
Yes. So that should be coming out pretty soon. We've been doing these quiz shows with her brother, my husband. Those are fun. We've been doing Where's the Lie, Aes Sedai, where
I've
So good.
seen those. Yeah, you're actually breaking down syntax and grammar and everything in those videos. You're like, well, they said this, so it can't mean this. Like, those are great.
I love those. I have so much. I mean, I spend so much time on those because I just get like in like what's like the wormhole.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're really happy that people are liking those. So we're trying to put out other fun little Wheel of Time content too, because I know we just have fun and people are responding to it and leaving comments and playing along with the quizzes. So because we just love interacting with all of the fandom.
That's awesome. So folks at home, go subscribe to the channel. They're absolutely great. And we have a couple more episodes of Wheel of Time left. We have episodes 7 and 8 left. And that's it for the 3rd season. Hopefully more seasons. We don't know for sure yet. We're all crossing your fingers and hoping things happen behind the scenes between Sony and Amazon that are kind of not getting along right now, but hopefully they will. And we get more Wheel of Time. But if you folks don't know, there's also movies in the works. An animated feature. There's all kinds of stuff coming. Not necessarily set in the same vein as the show or the same time frame as the show, but the movies are supposed to be based around the Age of Legends, and it's a trilogy. It's what's planned. And there is an animated feature that's going to be sort of like a Harry Potter-esque type thing done by a Quebec animation company. And they're going to be doing sort of a young girl going to the White Tower and following her adventures there. So that's still a couple of years out, but there is more Wheel of Time coming too, which is fantastic.
Awesome. And I love the Age of Legends. Like I'm so fascinated by
yeah.
that because the past, but the future.
Yeah.
All right. So any closing comments or things that you guys have coming up that you want to mention to the people at home?
Wow.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I don't know. Just like again, thanks for, like watching us and engaging with us. Hope to see you at WatCon.
Yeah, and also, so we're going to be at WatCon and we might possibly be doing panel.
We submitted, so we will see.
Yeah,
Very
leading
cool.
a panel. So yeah, just a show only one. But yeah, like I said, really all I can do is promote Wheel of Time because that's kind of what we're just focusing on right now. But I mean, we are going to try other fun, like her Where's the Lie, Aes Sedai. We're probably going to do other fun things similar that are yeah, there'll be little fun little things. But
if you can get a hold of it's kind of hard to see behind me here. There's a box. No, this side here. Questioners and Dark Friends. It's sort of a Cards Against Humanity-esque version of the Wheel of Time. That's super fun. Made by a fan, Qual Sedai. If you could do something like that too, that would be a great thing to do because it's a blast to play. If you know, you don't have to know the books either, just to show stuff. It's super fun. I've seen people.
Gosh, thank you.
And she is on Instagram. She's on Twitter, so she's part of Twitter Time. And she'd have a Kickstarter out where she doesn't make any money off it at all. She just does it because she loves it. So.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, how fun. That would be a really good idea. Yeah. But no, we love the fandom, the community. Everybody has been so sweet. And so we just want to be around them more, We want an excuse to talk to them and interact with them. And I can't wait to see them at WatCon.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for sticking with us here to the very end, folks. Here's to many more.